Hey guys, it's Liv Sims here, and I am going to do a voiceover for this video. I decided to do a voiceover for this particular build just because it is my actual apartment that I recreated in The Sims. And I think it is kind of nice for you guys to kind of get to know me, and what better way to do that is to show you guys where I live, in a way, I guess. I do this in almost every build where I kind of just space out the area, and then I try to do a floor plan, but then I realize quickly that I can't really see without any light, so I always size down these little dislights that we got in a free update, which actually I think are easier to see through when you're building comparative to like the black saucers that we have with the base game. And just to give you guys some background on this apartment, this is my third apartment since moving out of my parents' house, and I live near my campus. I guess it's not really my campus anymore. I just graduated, so I still live here in this college apartment with my boyfriend and our dog. And we've lived in this area probably for about 2 years now, ever since, 2 years. And this apartment is an old building, and it is very much in the style of college style, where it's, older appliances, old carpet, but, they just kind of slap a fresh coat of paint on every time somebody moves in, and that's pretty much all the college students get. So I really wanted to capture that grungy and dirty and kind of old style within this build. So I decided to do it in the 19 Culpepper apartment that we get in City Living. And unfortunately, we can't make our own apartment, so I decided to use this one, even though the floor plan isn't exact to how it really is in my life. I think it comes pretty close to what it does look like, and kind of captures, I guess, the essence of it really more than it does just an apartment in itself. And here I'm trying to make it bigger. I'm like, this is not enough space, but our kitchen is really small, so I guess it does kind of work out in its own way. And I use I think these are City Living came out with like used appliances and used counters and things. So I used a lot of that stuff in this build. I think it really does make a difference when you have the ability to make, like not every house and apartment your Sims are going to live in is going to be polished and new and everything nice and pretty. A lot of people don't live like that. So I love the fact that we have these realistic objects in the game. And I just grab the ugliest stuff that we have and put it together, just because as much as I do love where I live and I love my home, it definitely is a very big college town, and I'm very big on not updating things, I guess I should say. And like I said before, this is my third apartment. So when I originally moved to this area, I moved in with a roommate of mine, and then after that ended, I moved in with my boyfriend, and we used to live in a different unit, but unfortunately it got flooded, so we had to kind of pack up all of our stuff last minute and move to a different unit, completely different floor, different building, but same owner. And that was like a huge struggle, just because we literally had moved in July. Like, we had moved all of my stuff into his apartment in July, and it just, by the time the winter came around, it just kept flooding over and over again. And the third time was enough for us, to the point where we lost a lot of stuff. So when I created this build, it was very much true to what it looked like when we moved in. I mean, we just had our bed, and we just had a couple dressers and a couple of posters up. We didn't have, and it doesn't look nearly the same as what it does now. We have a lot more artwork up. We've tried to make it our home. We've added some new objects. We've added a lot of plants. And not just it's just mostly me. Like, in this build, you'll see there's only like a couple of plants in here, and that is totally not the case anymore. Now it's like, I would say almost 50 plants in this house. So it's a lot more livable and nicer, I would say, definitely. And here I am trying to put in closets, because that's what we do have. We do have little like walk-in closets that we both have on either end, and I try to fit them in, but the windows were in the way. So I just decided to stick with the dressers that we have. My boyfriend, this is his dresser, and then the one across is mine. This apartment, I will say, is very much comparative to other college students where I've been over to my friends' houses and none of their furniture matches, and it just looks really cool. I kind of like that like grungy style. And then here I wanted to put a mirror because we do have a mirror on one of our closet window or doors, I guess. And that wall mirror, it fits perfectly and it lets you put it on as long as you have a wall up, because you can literally put, I think it's 2x1 square tiles of wall around that particular walk-in closet, I guess it is. And then from there, the mirror thinks that it's on a wall. It doesn't think that it's on an object. So it actually sticks. I don't know if it works yet. I have tested it a little bit, but I haven't seen if like your Sims can actually do anything in the closet. Typically, you know, they can cry in the closet. They can do really crazy fun stuff like that. And I haven't tested it out with this one, but I did test it out with the other one because I was worried that the electrical box was going to block the Sims, but it worked just fine. So if you do download this, you can definitely use either or. I don't think it should be an issue just because they go on the other side of the closet. They don't go on that particular side. And we do have 2 TVs, so I put the first TV out here, and it took me forever to find a couch. Looked like I just deleted it because I was like, this doesn't really match, and we're so limited with swatches, and the fact that we don't have a color wheel really kind of affects that. So we have like I would say it's like a cool gray-blue couch, and this is the best that I could kind of match it up with, so I stuck with that. And another big piece that we have in our apartment is this really nice big real wood table, and it's really great. You can pull it out, you can, you know, make it huge, you can make it smaller, and this is as close as I could get. The chairs are actually pretty similar, although the chairs that we have are a little bit nicer than the ones I end up picking out. And I think I ended up picking out some base game ones, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm about to pull them out soon. Yeah, just simple base game ones. It's the best I could do just because our cushions are cream and then the wood matches the table. So that's as close as I could get it to. And one big thing that we do have in our apartment, again, is 2 desks. So I have a desk and then my boyfriend has his own desk, and we're both in different corners. So we can both do our own thing, our video editing. And when I was in college, I was an English major, so I had to write a lot. Every semester, I wrote more than 12, 13 papers. I mean, and they varied from different, you know, page lengths. So I was always at my computer, always typing, always trying to do something. So I really wanted to get that ahead of it. And then there, I tried to put in 2 monitors, basically 2 computers on one desk. And I didn't realize you couldn't do that in The Sims. I've never really tried because I always forget people have more than just one monitor. But since the way that the desks work, they only allow you to put on one computer to attach to one chair. So I couldn't make that super realistic, but me and my boyfriend, we both do have our own laptop. So I liked the fact that we got Strangerville right around the time I started building. I'm like, oh, it matches perfect, you know? And it sucks because now we have the new update where the laptops have the like color changing keyboards, and that's what we have. So I was like, oh, I should go back in and like put it back on the gallery, but I think it's fine for what it is. And then here I'm trying to put up some artwork. We do have a lot of artwork up. I have various artists that I like, obviously copies of it. And we also have a lot of posters and framed posters and signed posters, actually, from different music groups and TV shows and movies that we like. So Game of Thrones is everywhere. That's where that dragon one comes in. That cowboy one, I think I try to make it look like the V for Vendetta one that my boyfriend has. And then that one that's above the food bowls is another V for Vendetta that he has up. But we have a bunch of different artwork up. That has always made me feel like, oh, I have a home because I have art and I have plants and things just to make it, you know, feel homey. So I think that it worked out pretty well in this build specifically. And we do have a dog, like I mentioned before, that lives with us. And He's a really tiny dog. He's like maybe 6-7 pounds, and he's just my everything. And there's dog stuff all over our apartment. I am obsessed with dogs. I've always had them, so I wanted to make sure that it was a very pet friendly apartment. Although I do really hate playing with dogs in The Sims 4 when my sim lives in an apartment. If my sim lives on an actual house lot, it's perfectly okay with me. But I hate it just mostly because when you have a dog, your dog always wants to be walked, which is perfectly fine. That's totally normal. But in an apartment, it's just so hard because you have to wait to be in the elevator and go all the way down. And for whatever reason, it's so much more work to go walk your dog than it is if you just walk outside the front door with your dog. So I wouldn't recommend it, but definitely I think up to 3-4 Sims could live in here easily. Just be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but I think that would make it seem a little bit more realistic in terms of, a little small, like old, cringy, dirty apartment. And then, yeah, here I am changing the color because our dog, his container is blue. And then we have 2 pet beds in this build. He now has 3, and he sleeps on none of them. He typically enjoys sleeping in our bed, so it makes no difference to him. And then, yeah, I really like this tile that we got with Strangerville that's like really old and cringy. Not cringy, but like it looks used. It looks dirty, and that's definitely like the tile that we have right now. No matter how many times I clean it, no matter how many times I try to get rid of it, I can't, and there's nothing we can do. And then this carpet as well. This carpet is very used. I think that's one of the words that they use when they describe it in the build and buy mode. So I really liked it. I thought it was pretty authentic too. And then I think I put up some more. Yeah, I put up some more artwork. Strangerville came with a lot of great posters and different objects that are just awesome for clutter. I think they really did listen this time with that. I think this is another one that I try to make it look like V for Vendetta again. I mean, it kind of does. I mean, it has the same color scheme, so I'll give it that much. And then I put not as much clutter as there is now, but there is some clutter. Definitely what's changed is our kitchen is a lot more full. We have a lot more appliances. We have more little kitchen things, and for whatever reason, I didn't put it in here. I think it's just because, like I said, we just moved and we really didn't have that much left from what had happened at this time. And then I used the really old, really old looking used up walls because those definitely look realistic. And when we moved into this unit, they did not prepare for us to move to this unit. They had no idea that this was going to happen. And so everything in this apartment, as dirty as it looks in here, it's very clean in real life. We basically had to clean everything from the ground up. Which makes it, it feels like, oh yeah, we worked to, make it work, and we cleaned it. We didn't have anybody do it for us. And, it's a little bittersweet with that, but it I think it works out nice for now, and I'm hoping that we can move and maybe I can do another build with our new apartment or new house or wherever we go from there. And here I am trying to put some objects on a bookshelf. I tried to put that chest, but it was just not letting me. And I use these My Sim dolls to represent my Funko Pop collection that I have. It's very small. It's nothing crazy or like rare Funko Pops or anything. I just get the ones that I think are really cute or ones that are, on sale or whatever. I'm not really particular other than I have to like the show or whatever it's representing. And here I am using the OMS shelf, which 9 times out of 10 works great. And this is the first time I tried to do it on a 1 square wall, and it just would not let me because it kind of needs something to hold on to. So I tried to do it on the side, which works fine, but it's just, yeah, you see it here. It's like, I end up flipping it to the other wall, and that helps out a lot more. And I sized them down to make them smaller just because they're so big, and I wanted them to fit inside the bookshelf. And I always do this. Every time I put down a bookshelf, I have to put something in it. It just looks so bare without it to me. And it looks a little bit more lived in when you do it this way. So I think they sized down pretty well. they still have all of their very detailed colors on them. And here I am trying to put more plants. I'm like, okay, I already did that one. I have to do a different one. At this time, I think I only had maybe 4, maybe. And I mean, now it's like gone insane, and I just buy plants all the time, and I love them. And they all grow. I've had a couple of dead ones, but all the ones that you see in here, like the snake plant, that one, ones that look kind of similar, I guess, are still alive. So kudos to me, because I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to take care of a plant. I've taken care of many different animals and pets and things like that, but nothing compared to an actual like plant. So I'm very proud of that. And here I am trying to put up some tapestries that we have in The Sims 4. They're obviously not exact. You know, we only have so many swatches and so much things to deal with, but oh, and that book piece right there, that's definitely something that I have underneath my desk. I have a lot of books everywhere, and like I said, being an English major, I'm consistently reading, I'm writing, I have a lot of papers everywhere. And they're very sentimental. I mean, they're pieces that I've worked on for very long, stressful hours. So I keep them, and I put a portfolio together, and I have all of them stacked in one place. But when I look back, it's a lot, and obviously there's some that I could get rid of. But I think that it's always nice to go back and read my writing and see how much it's changed, because it's definitely changed a lot since I've started. And this, I don't have a table that looks like this. I wish I did. It's really cute. But I sized down our shoe racks that we have in The Sims 4, and they fit perfectly underneath. And those shoe racks, I have some, but they're in the actual closet, the closet that closes. And since we obviously can't go in there and put stuff in there, I decided just to put them underneath, and I think it looked really cute. Give something to that wall at least. And here I decided, for whatever reason, that tapestry was not enough. I needed to make my own. So I take these curtains from Movie Hangout, and I keep 2 of them the same, and I just reverse them, and then I size down 2 more and put them together, and it just makes one big tapestry. And I think it looks really nice. I don't know if it necessarily goes with this build, but I have one that has constellations on it and different constellations and different zodiac signs. So I thought that was as close as I was going to get with this. And yeah, at this point, I'm trying to figure out some makeup clutter that I can put on this dresser. This is where I get ready all the time, every time. I have all my makeup on top of my dresser. I have a bunch of makeup, so I wanted to make that as realistic as I possibly could. And we have these really great pieces that came with Parenthood that fit really nice on there and look cluttered, and they look, not always polished and put together and pretty. So I kept them there, and I think that they worked out just fine. And I put a stack of fold clothes, because Eric always has clothes folded, dirty, doesn't matter, on top of his dresser. And I put a couple of book bags in here because we were both at this time in college, so it made sense to put them in. And I just switch up the swatches. And for whatever reason, I make Eric's desk full of clutter, and it's never really like this. He rarely has any clutter. And mostly because I think I did this because I couldn't fit the other monitor on the desk. So I was like, oh, well, something else has to go here. This laptop is too tiny. It needs to take up some space. And that plant for sure would never be on his desk. He accepts the fact that I love plants, but it's not his thing. And it's something that I take care of and something that I love to do. So there are nowhere on his space. And then here I did our patio, which I really love how it came out. It's super authentic to what it looks like. We have a grill out there. We have seating area, we like to entertain and grill a lot and have our friends come over or our families, and I really wanted to make that in this build. I thought that that was going to be really, it was definitely going to pertain to what my apartment really does look like. So I take out these metal chairs that look like they're from like the park, and they're super cute. I really like working with those. And now I'm just trying to find a table and something that matches outside. And obviously, you're never going to find the exact match in The Sims 4, but you're going to get pretty close sometimes. And so that's what I decided. I think I went with this glass one, yeah. And I think, yeah, I put out some lights. I originally tried to do it on the fencing, and it just was not working. It doesn't let you do it unless you put up the wall, attach them, and then delete the wall. And obviously you have to have move objects on for that. And you can't do that here. If you can, I want to really figure out how I can, because I do think that that's pretty realistic to the way that people have their lights. At least around me, a lot of the units here, they have, Christmas lights outside all year long. So yeah, and I put out a couple more chairs. I put out, I think, a metal one of the metal tables that we have from City Living, and a couple of blue chairs, and I think like a hanging flower basket. And I think that's pretty much it. I know that I put two together. Yeah, we have a lot of seating outside for sure. And then with this, I put pots and pans on top of it because that's usually where we store all the cooked meat. So I thought that was a really cute touch. And other than that, I think that's it for the build, and the screenshots are going to come through, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I really want to make more voiceovers, so let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!